Before we get started, I wanted to say thank you to our friends over at Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Stay tuned to the end for more information about Squarespace. Hey guys, Mac here. In this video, we're going to be diving into how to find and pick the perfect vehicle for overlanding, van life, any sort of touring or vehicle-based travel. Spoiler alert, there's no such thing as the perfect rig. I guess this video is going to be really short. In all seriousness, there are so many options out there, it can be really hard to know what's going to be right for you and your travels. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through everything that's available out there, how to set priorities, and evaluate your needs to point you in the direction of the right vehicle for you and your travel goals. What makes me qualified to dispense such information? Well, I've been traveling for a long time now, and over the course of all of my travels, I have used 5 very different vehicles. The first one was a 2004 Honda Element. The next one was a 1985 Volkswagen Vanagon, and then moved into a 1985 4x4 Toyota Sunraider, then a 2008 Toyota Tacoma, and then our most recent vehicle, which I'm in currently, is a 2019 Toyota Tundra with a flatbed 4-wheel camper. By trying all of these different things, it's helped me come up with a technique to narrow down everything that's out there and help me find the right vehicle for me, my needs, and my travel goals. All right. Enough chit chat, let's dive on in. The most important thing that you need to know before looking for a vehicle is your travel objectives and your desired lifestyle. I have some questions that you should ask yourself, and the answers will help dictate the type of vehicle that's going to be best for you. How many people are you traveling with? This will help you find a vehicle that has the right number of seats, sleeping accommodations, and storage space to accommodate for everybody's needs. How long do you plan to be on the road? If you answered short term, you likely can live without some of the luxuries such as an interior living space. If you answered long term, you likely might need a little bit more interior living space so you can escape from all the weather conditions you will encounter all year long. Do you prefer a modern vehicle or an older vehicle? There's no wrong answer to this question. In fact, I've had both. But just know if you're going with an older vehicle, there's likely going to be more maintenance required on a regular basis to keep you rolling down the road. Will you be working while you're living on the road? If so, roughly how much time will you spend working? This will dictate how much interior living space you need to give yourself to be able to work from the road. You will also need to take this into consideration to be able to have space to store all of your work equipment and build out a robust power system to power your work. What are your feelings on towing a trailer? If you like this idea, there's a whole wide range of options of trailers out there for you to check out. The great thing about a trailer is that you can take it to camp, leave it behind, and then have an unencumbered vehicle to go out and explore with. If you don't like the idea of towing something, there's a wide range of campers out there that you shouldn't look at. Will you be traveling internationally? What brand parts are available where you plan to travel? What types of fuel are available where you plan to travel? These questions are really important for people who plan to travel internationally. The thing is, some car brands are available in certain parts of the world and others aren't. So if you're planning on taking a vehicle with a brand that's not accessible, you may need to bring parts with you when you go. Also be sure to take fuel into consideration because, again, there can be limitations in what is available in certain parts of the world and thus can provide some limitations to where you can take your vehicle. Is wheeling or driving really hard trails going to be one of your objectives? If you answered yes to this question, you'll need to be looking for something that was off-road capable, built or designed for that type of travel. You'll also need to make sure that you're reserving room for your recovery gear, spare parts, and all those sorts of things that you may need to drive those trails safely. Are you wanting to use your vehicle as a tool to get to human-powered adventures? If this is the case for you, you likely aren't needing an ultra-capable off-road vehicle. Instead, you can put your monies back into your travels in other ways. The next step is prioritizing your needs. You do this by writing everything you could possibly want out of a vehicle based on all the questions that we just talked through. Then, once you have everything written down, you'll subdivide it into 2 separate categories: your necessities and your luxuries. It's really important that you be very critical when subdividing all of these things into your 2 separate categories. To give you an example, our necessity list featured things such as a pop top, 4-wheel drive, and desk space for 2. Our luxuries included the ability to cook outside and a shower. If you're interested in seeing our full list of necessities and luxuries, head to the description of this video. There's a blog post where we have listed off our entire list. There's also a link to download the same chart that we use to subdivide our luxuries and our necessities when looking for a vehicle. Once you have everything subdivided into your 2 categories, this list is what you will compare every single vehicle you look at to. You're trying to get as many of your necessities checked off, if not all, and as many luxuries as you can. At the end of the day, you're working towards living on the road, and some sacrifices will need to be made. Some of those sacrifices will need to be bigger than others. I just don't want you to pass up on a vehicle over a luxury if you're getting all of your necessities checked off. Setting a budget for your vehicle or your build is obviously incredibly important. Your budget is going to bring more focus to your search. For instance, if you set a $25,000 budget, you're not going to go looking for a $500,000 earth roamer. But let's be real, it doesn't keep us from window shopping, am I right? Your budget will help you determine if you can go new or used, or what you can or cannot include in your build. Again, no wrong answers here. At the end of the day, it's more important that you achieve your goal of life on the road than it is to leave with every bell and whistle checked off of your list. The great thing is you can always add as you go. It's really important to know that when you get on the road, you actually find out that your needs might be a little bit different than you originally thought they'd be. So by starting with less of an upfront build, you're giving yourself the space to add exactly what you need, when you need it, as you go. All right, now that you know your priorities and your budget, it's time to start doing research to find the perfect vehicle for you. One of our recommended ways of doing research is going to events such as Overland Expo or any sort of camping meetup where people are going to be arriving in vehicles kind of like what you're looking for. It's a great opportunity to see things in person. Our favorite thing to do is to walk around and cherry pick ideas from all of the creative builds that are on the market out there. It's a great thing to see things in person because you can really envision yourself in all of those options. Another great way to do research is by watching walk-around tours, DIY builds, or diving into vehicle forums. The reason why this is a great option is because you can see some of those things that might not be showing up at industry events. You can see all of the creative DIY options out there that people are putting together in their own driveways. Lastly, don't hesitate to reach out to the people who have vehicles that you love. It's a great way to get a firsthand experience and feedback on that particular vehicle, and you also get the opportunity to pepper them with questions. So many people did that for us, and it's always tremendously helpful to get that firsthand insight. While editing this video, I did realize I left out a little piece of key information that I wanted to pass along, and that is the option of renting. Companies such as Outdoorsy have made it easier than ever to try out a whole wide array of vehicle types. The great thing about renting is you can truly try on a space to see if it works out for you. And the thing is, if it doesn't, it's a great way to see what does and does not work for you before you go out and spend your very hard-earned money. Before I let you go, I want to run through a quick list of options that are out there on the market that you might find interesting. We'll also include in our blog post that's linked in the description of this video a link to a bunch of different builds and different company products that we think are great for life on the road, just to kind of get that ball rolling for you. All right, let's check out some cool rigs. Vans. Trucks. SUVs. DIY campers. Custom builds, chassis campers, slide-in campers, rooftop tents, regular ground tents, wedge campers, tow-behinds and adventure trailers, luxury expedition vehicles, and so much more. I realize that this has been a very information-dense video, but there's so much to think about when coming to pick the perfect vehicle for you and your travel goals. There are 1,000,001 options out there on the market, but that just means that there's no wrong answers. It's just more important that you get out there, have some fun, and make some memories. Again, we did write up a blog post that details our personal priority list as well as that same chart in blank form, so you can download it and fill it out for your own personal vehicle search. That, as always, can be found in the description of this video below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and best of luck in finding your next home on wheels. We'll see you guys down the road. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you are not familiar with Squarespace, they give people a powerful and beautiful platform to create their own website. In fact, our website has been powered by Squarespace since 2016, which is when we got on the road. Squarespace makes it easy to present your travel photos using their professional portfolio designs. You can also display projects in customizable galleries and add password-protected pages to share private work with clients. Squarespace can authenticate your social profiles, letting you auto-post your content to Twitter, Facebook, or Tumblr. Squarespace Analytics makes it easy to see how your visits, unique visitors, and page views trend over time. That way you can gain insight into the top traffic sources, devices, browsers, and operating systems by visits. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your beautiful new website, go to squarespace.com/boundfornowhere for 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website. People's creative vehicles. Blah. Doesn't keep us from window search. It was so close. Space for other ways. I can do this. Oh my god.
Excellent.
Ugh, pain. Not being very concise. I can do it. I can do this.